We've all been in that building, you know the one, where it's freezing in the morning, sweltering by lunch, and somehow still stuffy by 3 p.m. Where the lighting gives you a headache, the air feels heavy, and the thermostat is more of a suggestion than a solution. Maybe it's a hospital, where the air smells sterile but carries hidden risks. Maybe it's your own office, where temperatures are inconsistent, energy's being wasted, and no one seems to know how to fix it. Or maybe it's a school, where our kids are struggling to focus and learn because of poor ventilation. When buildings fail us, it isn't always dramatic, but it is always costly to our health, to our productivity, and to our environment. But it doesn't have to be this way. Winston Churchill once said, "We shape our buildings, and afterward, our buildings shape us." It's time we take a second look at the spaces we spend our lives in and ask, are they helping us thrive or just keeping us inside? Let's explore how building automation is quietly transforming our built environment, not by making things flashier or futuristic, but by making buildings smarter, healthier, and more responsive to the people inside. At the heart of this talk is a simple but powerful idea. Comfort, energy efficiency, and indoor air quality are not competing priorities. They're interdependent goals, and when buildings are designed and managed with that in mind, they can work in harmony. According to a Harvard study, workers in buildings with poor ventilation experience lower cognitive function, slower response time, and decreased productivity. In classrooms, poor ventilation has been linked to up to 15% lower standardized test scores. And from a commercial standpoint, commercial buildings in the United States waste a significant amount of energy, largely due to outdated or disconnected systems. But when buildings are integrated through building automation, that narrative changes. This isn't just theoretical, it's already happening. Picture this. You walk into your building, coffee in hand, ready to start your day. You've got emails to catch up on, a team meeting after lunch, the usual. But something feels right. The air is crisp but not cool, the lighting is calm, the space feels steady, and you didn't even have to think about it, because you're not supposed to. What if I told you that today wasn't just your lucky day? What if I told you that the building was actively working to support your comfort, health, and productivity? You settle in at your desk, no thermostat wars, no cold drafts, no hot corners. The conference room you pass is perfectly conditioned. The break room doesn't feel musty. Everything feels consistent. That's because the building was preparing for your arrival. Building automation takes into consideration things like time of day, outside weather, schedules, and occupancies, and makes adjustments to HVAC, lighting, and environmental controls so the space feels perfect when you arrive. Building automation isn't just infrastructure, it's an intelligent solution that enhances the way we live, work, and learn. This isn't about luxury, it's about design that puts people first. The day goes on, the adjustments keep happening, only now it's energy saving time. Sunlight fills the windows, the lights dim slightly to match. Part of the office clears out, airflow decreases where it's not needed. Outside temperatures rise, and inside your HVAC system doesn't fight it, it adapts, and you never feel a change. It's because building automation doesn't wait for problems to happen, it prevents them. It does this by making thousands of micro adjustments throughout the day that no human could possibly manage. It does this not only to maintain your comfort, but also to reduce energy. Afternoon hits, you're in a full conference room. Normally, this is the time of day where people start to get drowsy. The heads start to droop. But not today. Today, you feel great. You're alert and focused. Automation sensors picked up a rise in CO2 in the building. You didn't notice it, but your building did. And it got right to work. Your building automation system prioritized ventilation and optimized filtration all in the background. We used to not think much about indoor air quality, but now we know it's important. At the end of the day, you leave without that familiar fog. No dry eyes, no energy crash, no adjusting the thermostat 6 or 7 times. The building just worked. You didn't think about the HVAC or the lighting or the airflow because they were all working for you. Each one of these systems individually can enhance the occupant comfort and experience, but when they stop working in silos and start working in sync, that's when the magic happens. Not just automation, but orchestration. It's a three-legged balancing act: comfort, energy efficiency, and indoor air quality. Each one matters, and each one affects the other. If you focus solely on comfort, you might get spaces that feel great, but it comes at the cost of soaring utility bills and wasted resources. If you focus solely on energy, you get spaces that are too restrictive, too hot, too cold, or too suffocating. And if you only chase ventilation for indoor air quality, you end up with spaces that get drafty. You start to get noise, and you waste a lot of resources. Neglect just one and the entire occupant experience suffers. But with building automation, these competing needs aren't left to chance. They're carefully measured, weighted, and recalibrated in real time. Building automation acts as a smart mediator, making sure that no system dominates and that nothing is left behind. The Department of Energy estimates that buildings waste about 30% of the energy that they use. Building automation works to reduce that waste while supporting comfort and indoor air quality. But the impact of automation doesn't end at the office door. Let's not forget, all of this matters at home too. After all, we spend a significant amount of time in our homes where comfort, energy efficiency, and indoor air quality still matter. And sure, we don't have access to full-blown building automation systems at home, but we do have access to accessible and affordable home automation technologies. Things like smart thermostats that learn your schedule and adjust your temperature to keep your space optimized. Not only to keep it comfortable, but to save energy. Things like zone-based HVAC systems that only condition spaces when they're being used, so you don't spend all summer conditioning your guest room when no one's there. Even small adjustments like motorized blinds or motion sensors for your lights can have a big impact. These aren't just fancy gadgets, they're real and they're available now. And they're empowering homeowners to make spaces more efficient and more comfortable, to make their homes more human-centered. Because whether it's a high-rise building or a single-family home, your building should support you. This isn't futuristic, it's already happening. In libraries that use zone-based HVAC systems, in retail buildings that use CO2 sensors to optimize their outside air, and in assisted living facilities that closely monitor indoor air quality for infection control. And the results are significant. The World Health Organization states that deaths due to indoor air quality have dropped significantly over the last 10 years. Unfortunately, poor indoor air quality still accounts for about 3.2 million deaths annually. Sadly, around 237,000 of those are children under the age of 5. From an energy standpoint, building automation can save commercial buildings up to 40% of their energy, making a big impact in the commercial sector. Workers in office buildings with building automation score over 100% higher in cognitive function testing than those in conventional buildings. The best part is we don't need all new buildings for this technology to work. Most of these systems can be retrofitted into the buildings we already have, amplifying their impact with a lower cost of entry. Now here's where you come in. Yes, big decisions about building automation are often made by architects and engineers and building owners, but you have a voice too. And that voice can raise awareness, accountability, and drive change. Start by asking questions. Talk to your HR department, facility manager, or building owner. Ask what sort of automation is in place to protect your health and comfort. After all, you deserve to know how your building is being managed. Support better building policies. Pay attention to state and local building codes. Support legislation that prioritizes healthy, efficient environments, especially in schools and healthcare facilities. And raise awareness. Talk about what you've learned here today. Regardless of your profession, odds are in your circles, people don't understand the full impact that a building has on your well-being. Be the one to start that conversation. We all have a role to play, and the more voices that call for smarter, healthier environments, the quicker this future can become a reality. Together, we can build a future where building automation plays a pivotal role in creating healthy, efficient environments. Because when we get it right, we're not just optimizing buildings, we're improving lives. I'll leave you this from systems thinker Russell Ackoff. A system is never the sum of its parts. It's the product of their interaction. And that's what building automation makes possible. Thank you.